Kansas Secretary of State Kris Kobach on if this new order is kind of appeal-proof. What do you think, sir?
I think this new order is going to be a lot harder for opponents of it to defeat in court. You know, the biggest difference, Neil, is this order reads like a legal brief. Normally, executive orders are fairly sparse. They don't include lots of citation to legal authority or evidence. This one is 12 densely packed pages with evidence that the Ninth Circuit demanded when they reviewed the first order. Now, the Ninth Circuit was completely out of bounds in requiring that kind of evidence, but this one is basically drafted so that it will survive scrutiny in the Ninth Circuit, which is, of course, the most liberal circuit in the country. All
right. Now, liberals typically have seized on this as another Muslim ban. How do you counter that?
You know, the order specifically points out the thing that was true about the first order as well, and that is it refers, in terms of giving preference to refugees, it says that you get the preference is given to minority religions within any country. That includes countries where Muslims are a minority religion. Secondly, it makes no reference, the 6 countries are not chosen because they have majority Muslim populations. It goes very specifically into listing the security concerns of the countries, and of course you have many other countries, dozens of other Muslim nations around the world that are not included. So it's ridiculous to call it a Muslim travel ban. It is not that.
All right. Well, Iraq is off that list, and the whole ban itself, or whatever you want to make of it, sir, is leading to a big sell-off in travel-related issues, airline issues. Now, a lot of them have been running up ahead of this on the improving economy, the fact that more people are going to travel. I don't know how many have set their sights on Iraq and whether this is going to make a big difference, but what do you make of that, and whether this is deemed a net negative for even the economy?
Well, Neil, you understand the vagaries of the stock market better than I do, but my guess is that those traders haven't read this thing yet. And other than those 6 countries, which are truly hotbeds of terrorism, I don't think many airlines are making a lot of money off of travel in and out of those 6 countries. The only significant change this has on the rest of the world is that now in-person interviews will be required before you get your visa. There used to be a waiver program where you could get a visa without actually talking to a person at the embassy of the United States. Now, if a visa is required, you actually have to have a conversation with someone. I don't seriously see that as a threat to international business travel. I think once they take time to read it, hopefully.
I'm sorry, sir. Nothing changes with existing visas or those who have already had their, passports and documents that's cleared in the United States, because that raises another worry that people have. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't, I guess, with critics, but that this latest measure clears them. That now if there are suspicious types who have already been approved for travel in and out of the United States, they'll still be able to travel in and out of the United States.
You're right. That is one limitation on this order. One could argue that it might be a security loophole. Someone who's already got a green card is going to be able to stay and continue to go back and forth from the United States. I believe that was probably done because of the legal challenges, and that's a shame, because the administration could have made this tighter if they wanted to. But again, because they're attacked from the left in court all the time, this order, makes some allowances. That said, it's still a great order, and it's going to massively increase our security. And by the way, Neil, one really important point, the refugee program still has that 120-day ban. That is so critical because in the last, since the first attack on the World Trade Center, we've had about 18 major terrorists use refugee status to go in and out of the country for terrorist training.
When does that ban start, by the way? That 120 days kicks off like today, or what?
I believe it's upon issuance of the order.
Gotcha. All right.
So yeah, today.
All right. The Kansas Secretary of State, Kris Kobach. Thank you, Kris. Good seeing you again.